Morning, it's BreiEndia. My 90-day self-journeys retreat in 808 Tavern. Yes, I look like the mask. Today is August 13th, 2020. I went for a run jog this morning, and I purposefully did it with my face and hair mask. It's a one thing. It's a what you call it, one-stop shop type thing that I've been doing since I cut my hair last year. So one thing I will say is my hair has grown pretty rapidly in the time that I've been using it. I started off using it like every other day, and now I'm using it every other week because I use different types of toners and cleansers in between the use of the mask. And after using it for the first 3 months every other day, I was able to take a few steps back on it so that I could just do it every so often and not as often, because I need it to do every other day. I'll probably do something different with my hair to close out this summer. By the time I get back in the house, I'll be able to wash it out, wash my hair, do my cleansing and my toner, go out into the world for my day. But today is Thursday, August 13th, 2020. Like I said, and it is a day of self-update. That is because this being a week of self-stability, self-stabilizing. And I did a little pondering yesterday, let myself wander, my mind wander, and giving myself the gratitude needed and everything like that to be able to recognize the part that I'm at in the journey, the great things that I've accomplished thus far, not just in my 90-day retreat, but it's always good to appreciate where you are, whether or not it's not physically where you would like to be. And I am just grateful that I was able to take this trip, get where I am, and literally relax, enjoy every bit of the moments that I've had out here in California. I've been to different places, not everywhere that I want to go because I'm going to wait until my next trip. But this being my first trip here, I've done a lot of the things that I wanted to do, and that is to embrace a new environment for a moment. That's not to say that I hate my own environment. I just am a person who enjoys seeing other environments, other people's lifestyles, and seeing the similarities as well as the differences. It's been cool for me. And I don't care about wearing my mask on this video because, honestly, who cares? I wanted y'all to see. I wore my mask and chose to do this in the video because, as it being a day of self-update, I'm updating on the journey of my mask, hair and face, as well as the journey of me working out and staying in shape between last year and this year. I did a more abrupt approach to losing my weight. Not to mention, while I was going through the cold turkey, I stopped drinking. I stopped doing all types of, substances. I stopped eating meat, pork, all of that. But I did it so abrupt at a time where I was going through like a little bit of stress and ultimately kind of like depression a little bit. So I didn't starve myself, but I noticed I needed to at least incorporate a good balance of a diet when I did stop those things. And the things that I reviewed when I looked at, when I was pondering on the fact that I'm still in a good space when it comes to my body weight and the comfort. I've gained muscle, and I'm comfortable with where I am in my weight as far as the feeling of it, how I internally feel. I feel light. I feel, I don't feel like when I eat certain foods that I just enjoy that it bothers me. Now I've gotten back into drinking a little bit of wine here and there. I'm not going to drink liquor. I'm just not interested anymore. I used to be a Henny girl, the Patron, all of that. That's not saying I'll never touch liquor again, but I just know that I'm not really interested. It's not that big of a deal. And I love me some wine, like red wine. I like white wine too, but I got myself some wine while I was out here, and other than that, I don't really need substances to kind of like balance out my like enjoying my days. I don't need those things, so it's just a personal thing that I actually like to see the experiences I'm having, enjoy them. And when I'm drinking and I get too drunk, I don't really get to enjoy what I'm doing. So extra water, extra lemon, extra lime, all those things are more so what I kind of do when it comes to if I want to be able to kind of have like something to balance out the events that I'm doing. Good morning. And while I'm doing that, I don't always drink the wine though. And also, I'm just doing more water. So like I said, I'm finally at a point now where it's not even hard for me to just get the water and drink 2 bottles in the morning, 2 bottles in the evening. I do more than that now because it's my primary liquid. And then, I make me some fresh drinks. The house I'm staying at, she's always got like fruits and stuff like that in the house. So I blend up some stuff and I do fruit drinks and then I do veggie drinks. And outside of the health benefit of the diet that I've shifted to, the update is that that's now balanced. So I can treat myself. So sometimes I'll go and get me a nice healthy steak or whatever it is that I used to enjoy, because steak was my favorite food at first. And I don't need to overindulge in eating steak, but I love some steak. So I still eat those things. Like I was saying, I'm not labeling myself as a pescatarian or vegetarian, vegan, or any of those things, simply because I haven't completely gotten rid of certain things. Like even pork, I don't eat pork, but I haven't stopped eating bacon. I still eat bacon. I don't eat pig feet and chitlins and all that stuff anymore, but I will eat me some bacon. I love pork bacon specifically. I know there's turkey bacon. I like turkey bacon too. The thick cut actually kind of gives me the idea of the pork bacon, but it's something about that little greasy part, like, I still like. So I still eat pork bacon. That's the only type of pork I still eat. And then also, I do, when it comes to red meat, I do liver and I do steak. And I like calf liver specifically because it doesn't have the extra irony taste to it. And other than that, greens. I love all types of greens. That brings the iron that I need. I love all types of salads and different types of vegetables. Although a lot of like broccoli and cauliflower and things like that are kind of like gaseous vegetables, I still like those types of vegetables. I still steam my broccoli or eat it raw, with or without the dressing. I like, balsamic vinaigrette, like different types of stuff like that. Please my taste buds. And I'm still doing the frequent fasting. So when I do eat all those things that aren't necessarily as good in my diet, I know and remember like, I'm at least going to have 2 fasts out of this month. Therefore, my body's going to kind of recalibrate and be good where it's at. And while this is going into my cell regeneration season, I'm allowing myself to gain better habits. So with the update, for me, the self-update is that I'm just grateful that I've reached a point where I can say I've gone a whole year without completely relapsing into what it is that I didn't want to do. Now, this next year will be me recalibrating. The next year won't be me recalibrating. Right now, it's just a matter of practicing trial and error, seeing what I like, what I don't like, what I'm going to keep, what I'm not going to keep. And then the next year to this journey will be my year of actual application. So I've been practicing different things that I want to do, my belief system, how I do my morning routines and my morning dedications, my readings, my writing, my journaling. And the next year I'll be able to incorporate myself into, or insert myself more back into the world and the things that I want to do as far as career and people, you know, associations, events, activities, because I have done a little bit of that during this practice phase, but because I'm in my 90-day retreat, I have been making sure to put myself first, because that is the primary thing of the self journey. Like I was saying before, you might have people who understand, or I might have people who don't understand. I might have people who respect it, and I might have people who just think that, you know, it's not as important as whatever it is that they think that I should be in attendance for, or that I should be paying attention to. But this is my journey and my decision to focus on myself. And it's like, I've never actually done something like this before, so I honestly don't really care about how people feel about it, because it's not about people. The self journeys retreat is about myself. It's about gaining a full comfort in who I've become, and just kind of catching up on things with me. It's kind of like I'm building this relationship with myself that is so stable that no distraction can really hinder me from the completion of the goals that I set with myself and for myself for this particular retreat. And it's not like it's going to go on forever. So I have this period of time to take the retreat serious, to focus on myself, to put me first. I can still, like I said, socialize with people, but when it comes to activities and things, nothing that I have planned for me will be put on the back burner before the things that I have planned for me. The things that I have planned for me will not be set aside. And that's just how it is when I do these retreats. I don't know if I'm going to make this a thing where I do it every 5 years, every 10 years, every 7 years. I'm, like I was saying, I'm doing it, my life based on chapters. And with this being going into the year of my self-regeneration, I look at it like I can do it every year if I want. It's just up to me. And ultimately, for people who share this type of experience where they take self-journeys or whatever they call it for themselves, it's a matter of knowing that sometimes you got to kind of recalibrate. You got to get your balance back. You got to kind of see where you are and what you need to revamp, what you need to revisit, not just with your outside world as far as your businesses and your accolades and your school, your whatever it is, but with yourself. You have to have the balance within yourself, your emotions, your mental, your health, your body, your insecurities. Things have to kind of come to a point where they're being healed, so that as you move forward into whatever chapter you're moving forward into, you are comfortable. That way you're not feeling as though the competitions that you may naturally fall into are a stressor. Matter of fact, sometimes competition can be a motivator. It can be a relaxer. It can enhance your abilities if you look at it in a certain way. Everybody has different mind frames. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this video here. This is a day of self update. Make sure you update yourself on the things that you are doing as far as your life. Update yourself with yourself on who you are defined to be in this time. Even if there are things you used to be, it's okay to say that I am this person, but I don't do these things anymore. I don't partake in these things anymore because now I'm more involved in this, or I've evolved to this, or, you know, I'm taking a break from that. It's okay to be that way. And that's where I am right now, updating myself on the things that I let go of and released. Not just looking at those things, but looking at where I am now and just being proudful of myself for completing this much of the journey and staying faithful to myself in the journey, staying faithful to my faith to God and to the relationship that I'm building with Him, the goddess in me, and the growth of the benefit of who I'm becoming and where I can go from here. The things, the endless opportunities of my future will not be hindered by the things that I couldn't complete in my past, because what is in front of me is what I'm focused on. And BreiEndia and my 90-day self journeys retreat in 808 Tavern. And God bless. Bye.